All right, let's unlock the secrets to absolutely crushing your next financial controller interview. We're going deep into RoleCatcher's career and interview guides.
Yeah, consider this your cheat sheet for landing that dream job.
We're going to uncover what hiring managers are really looking for and break down those common interview questions.
Give you the tools to craft those winning responses, too.
So if you're ready to really impress, let's get started.
You know, something that trips people up is not totally understanding what a financial controller does.
Okay, yeah, break that down for us.
It's way more than just number crunching.
What does RoleCatcher say about the more strategic parts of the job?
They highlight how financial controllers help develop financial policies, make sure resources are in line with company goals, and provide insights for decision-making.
Oh, so it's like you're a financial strategist.
Yeah, you're basically making sure the company is financially healthy and you're helping it succeed.
I like that. So it's not just about balancing the books, it's about planning the future of the company.
Exactly, and that's something you really want to emphasize in your interview. Speaking of interviews, RoleCatcher's AI can be a total game changer when you're prepping.
Oh, how so?
Okay, imagine this. You upload your CV and the AI looks at it, compares it to specific job descriptions.
Uh-huh.
It figures out if there are gaps in your skills, and then suggests ways to tailor your CV so it really stands out.
Oh, wow. So it's like having a personal AI CV consultant.
It really is, and it doesn't stop there. RoleCatcher's AI can actually check out your interview answers and give you personalized feedback.
No way. Like what you're saying and how you're saying it.
Yep, even your body language.
That's wild. It's like a virtual interview coach.
Now let's get to the good stuff. Those super common interview questions that could make or break your chances.
Okay, I'm ready.
We're going to tackle 9 questions straight from RoleCatcher's guide, and I'll break down how to approach each one strategically.
Awesome. Question number 1. What experience do you have in financial reporting?
This one sounds straightforward, but it's your chance to showcase more than just your past jobs. Hiring managers really want to see if you get those core principles of financial reporting.
Right, so it's about showing you can actually prepare and analyze financial statements.
Yep, and make sure they follow all the accounting standards.
So don't just list reports you've made, you got to show a deep understanding.
Right. RoleCatcher suggests talking about specific accomplishments and highlighting your knowledge of accounting standards. You could say something like, in my last role, I prepared monthly and quarterly financial statements, including balance sheets, income statements, and cash flow statements, ensuring they were all GAAP compliant.
I like that. Concise and to the point. But what about those tricky follow-up questions?
Yes. Be ready for those. They could ask, can you walk me through a specific time where you used a complex accounting principle in your reports? Or how did you make sure your reports were accurate and honest in the past?
Oh, okay, so they really want to know if you can put your knowledge into action.
Exactly. Now, ready for question number 2. It's, how do you ensure compliance with financial regulations?
Bring it on.
This question is all about showing that you understand the rules and ethics of financial control. They want to see if you're proactive, detail-oriented, and, committed to being honest.
So more than just saying, I follow the rules.
Right. You got to show your knowledge of specific regulations and your approach to risk management.
Like what?
RoleCatcher suggests mentioning things like GAAP and Sarbanes-Oxley and outlining your process for making sure things are compliant. You could say, I keep up to date on all the regulations and implement strong internal controls to reduce risk. I do regular audits to stay compliant and always try to identify and address potential problems.
That's a good one. Shows you're on top of things.
Yeah.
But what about follow-up questions there?
Think about any times you faced compliance challenges before.
Oh.
How did you spot potential issues and what steps did you take? They might also ask about staying informed on new regulations or a specific compliance scenario.
Oh, so really testing if you can apply your knowledge in real situations.
Exactly. Question number 3 now. How do you monitor and manage cash flow?
This is a big one, right?
It is. This question is all about seeing if you can manage one of the most crucial parts of a company's financial health.
Yeah, it's not just watching the money come in and out. It's about using that cash flow strategically.
Exactly. RoleCatcher says to show off your ability to forecast, monitor, and report cash flow effectively.
Okay.
They also say to mention your experience managing working capital,
What did you choose?
the difference between a company's assets and its liabilities.
So it's about making sure the company has enough cash on hand to cover its immediate bills.
Precisely. A strong answer might be, I use different forecasting techniques to predict cash flow changes, and I track KPIs to watch daily operations. I also work closely with other departments to make the most of working capital, ensuring we get paid on time from customers and negotiate good payment terms with our suppliers.
Oh, so it's about being proactive and strategic about cash flow. What kind of follow-up questions could come from that?
Be prepared to talk about the specific metrics you use to track cash flow. Things like operating cash flow, free cash flow, and cash conversion cycle. They might also ask you to describe a situation where there was a sudden cash flow problem and how you handled it.
Okay, so they're really looking to see how you think on your feet and solve problems.
Definitely. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can be really useful for practicing these answers. You can record yourself, get feedback, and even get tips on your body language.
It's like having a personal interview coach analyzing your every move. Okay, next question. How do you manage financial risk? This feels like a big one for financial controllers.
It really is. This question is all about seeing your strategic thinking and your ability to protect the company's financial well-being.
Right.
They want to know if you understand risk management and if you can spot, assess, and reduce potential financial risks.
So you're like a financial guardian protecting the company.
Exactly. RoleCatcher suggests showing that you really know your risk management stuff and that you have a structured way of addressing risks.
What would that sound like in an interview?
You could say something like, I do regular risk assessments to see what could threaten the company's financial stability. Then I develop and implement controls to reduce these risks, use data analytics to keep track of our risk exposure, and I'm always updating our risk management strategies based on new information.
That sounds super thorough. It shows you're not just reacting, you're anticipating. What kind of follow-up questions could they ask about risk?
They might ask for a specific example of a big financial risk you found and how you reduced it. Or they could ask, how do you decide which risks are most important? What things influence your decisions?
Okay, so they want to understand your thought process behind managing risks.
Exactly. Now let's move on to question number 5. How do you ensure accurate financial forecasting?
Looking into the crystal ball.
You could say that. This question is all about making sure you can make realistic predictions and see potential challenges coming.
So it's about using your expertise to see into the company's financial future.
Yeah, RoleCatcher suggests talking about your experience using financial models, figuring out what drives financial performance, and being able to adjust those forecasts if things change.
Right, so being data-driven but also flexible.
Exactly. A strong answer might sound like, I use complex financial models and take into account things like historical data, industry trends, economic forecasts, and feedback from different departments to make comprehensive projections. And I'm always reviewing and adjusting those forecasts based on performance and any new risks so they stay aligned with the current business situation.
So you're always keeping those forecasts up to date. Are there any sneaky follow-up questions we should be ready for?
Think about the challenges you faced with financial forecasting before. What were the biggest obstacles and how did you overcome them?
What did you learn?
Exactly. They might also ask about the specific metrics you track, the tools you use, or how you tell stakeholders if a forecast isn't accurate.
Right, so it's not just about making the forecast. It's about knowing what it means, being able to explain it, and adapting if things change.
Exactly. Now, ready for question number 6. It's, how do you manage budget variances?
Oh, budget variances, every financial controller's favorite topic.
Right. But seriously, this question tests your problem-solving skills. Hiring managers want to see if you can spot, analyze, and fix any deviations from the budget.
So you're like a financial detective.
I like that. RoleCatcher says to explain your step-by-step approach to handling these variances. A good answer could be, I regularly look at variances to figure out what's causing them, and I work with different departments to understand what's going on. Then I put corrective actions into place, like changing spending, moving resources around, or even improving our forecasting methods. And I always keep everyone informed, making sure they understand the adjustments we need to make.
That shows you're proactive and a good communicator. Any tricky follow-up questions there?
They might ask you to give specific examples of times you've successfully managed budget variances. So have those stories ready. They might also ask about how you try to prevent those variances from happening in the first place.
Okay, so they want to see how you think ahead. Now, question number 7. How do you communicate financial information to non-financial stakeholders? This one's interesting.
It is. It's about translating complex stuff for people who don't live and breathe numbers. They want to know if you can communicate clearly with different types of people.
Right, like you're a financial translator.
Exactly. RoleCatcher's Guide says to focus on how you adapt your communication style for different people. Highlight key messages, avoid jargon, use visuals like charts and graphs.
Oh, that makes it easier to understand. What would a good answer sound like?
Something like, I always adjust how I talk about things depending on the audience. I make sure it's clear and avoid any technical terms. I focus on the main points and use things like charts and graphs to present data in a way that's easy to understand. And I always encourage questions and feedback to make sure everyone's on the same page.
That's a good one. Now, what about those follow-up questions? What could they ask to dig a little deeper?
They might ask, have you ever had to explain a tricky financial concept to a senior executive who doesn't know much about finance? How did you do it? Or how do you make sure your financial communication is clear, concise, and impactful for every audience?
Oh, I see. They're really trying to understand how you connect with people and make complex things simple.
Exactly. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can really help you practice these explanations and get feedback on how clear you're being.
Oh, right. That AI coach again. Amazing.
We still have a couple more questions to cover.
Okay, let's take a breath, and then we'll jump right back in.
Sounds good. Welcome back. Ready for more on how to nail those financial controller interview questions?
Absolutely. Hit me with the next challenge.
All right, question number 8. How do you ensure financial data accuracy and integrity? This one is crucial. It's all about showing how much you value accurate and reliable financial data.
Makes sense. Financial controllers need to make sure those numbers tell the real story about the company's finances.
Exactly. RoleCatcher highlights the importance of internal controls, regular audits, and data analytics. They say to really showcase your experience in these areas.
So a good answer might be something like, I have a zero-tolerance policy for inaccurate data. I make sure there are strict internal controls at every step of the financial process. I also do regular data audits to catch and fix any discrepancies, and I use data analytics to look for anything unusual or risky. Plus, I make sure my team is well-trained on data integrity and best practices.
That's a strong answer. You're showing a thorough and proactive approach. What kind of follow-up questions do you think they might ask?
I bet they'll want specific examples, right? Push us beyond just the general principles.
You're right. Be ready to describe a time when you had to deal with a data integrity issue. Walk them through the steps you took, the challenges you faced, and what the result was.
Okay, so they're testing how you think on your feet and apply what you know.
Exactly. And they might also ask what specific controls you would put in place to make sure data is accurate, or what tools you would use to maintain data integrity.
Okay, got to be ready for anything.
Okay.
What's the next question?
Question number 9, the last one on our list. How do you develop and manage financial strategy? This is a big one.
Yeah, this is about showing leadership and strategic thinking. They want to know if you can connect the dots between financial data, business goals, and making smart decisions.
Exactly. Remember, a financial controller isn't just a number cruncher. They're helping to shape the company's financial future. RoleCatcher says to highlight your experience in aligning financial strategy with the organization's goals, making financial projections, implementing financial controls, and adapting those strategies as things change.
So a strong answer might sound like, I work directly with senior leadership to really understand the organization's goals. Then I develop a financial strategy that supports those goals. I create detailed financial projections to see if those strategies are feasible, put strong controls in place to keep things on track, and regularly check performance, making adjustments as needed to respond to changing market conditions or priorities within the company.
That's great. You're showing collaboration, translating goals into financial plans, and being flexible in a changing environment. Now, for the final round of follow-up questions, what curveballs could they throw?
I'm ready for anything. What do you think?
They might ask you to share a specific example of a time you had to change your financial strategy because of something unexpected, like an economic downturn or a sudden shift in customer demand.
Okay, that makes sense.
Be prepared to talk about what happened, the challenges, the steps you took, and how it ultimately affected the company's financial performance. They could also ask about how you measure the success of your strategies, what key performance indicators you use, and how you communicate those findings to stakeholders.
Those are all great questions to wrap up with. They really make you think critically about your approach to financial strategy and show that you can measure and communicate your impact.
Exactly. And don't forget, acing an interview isn't just about having the right answers. It's about showing how you think, how you solve problems, and that you're truly excited about the role.
You're right. I'm feeling way more confident now. All this talk about financial controllers, it's making me excited about the job.
That's great. It's a tough job, but it's also really rewarding. You're at the center of the company's financial operations, helping it succeed and grow over the long term. And speaking of resources, RoleCatcher has been such a valuable guide for anyone looking to work in finance.
Totally agree. Their advice is so practical, and their AI tools can really take your job search to a whole new level.
Absolutely. From making your CV amazing to practicing interview answers and getting feedback from AI, RoleCatcher has what you need to really stand out.
Plus, they have some great advice on career paths and specialization, which can help you plan your long-term goals.
Right. They lay out potential career paths from junior accountant all the way up to CFO, and they really stress the importance of always learning and developing your skills. They even have real-world examples of successful financial controllers at different stages in their careers, which can be really inspiring.
I like that. Those example profiles give you real ideas for showcasing your skills and experience. You mentioned technology transforming the role of a financial controller. What specific skills should people focus on to stay ahead of the curve?
As technology keeps advancing, financial controllers need to be comfortable with financial software, automation, and using data analytics to make better decisions.
So it's not just about the numbers anymore. It's about analyzing data, seeing trends, and communicating that information to help shape business strategy.
Exactly. Here are a few key areas where financial controllers can really make an impact.
I'm ready. Let's start with automation. How is that changing things?
Automation is taking over a lot of the routine tasks, which frees up financial controllers to focus on the more strategic stuff. They can use robotic process automation, or RPA, to automate things like data entry, invoice processing, and reconciliation, which saves time and reduces errors.
That makes a lot of sense. So they can spend more time on analysis and planning.
Exactly. And speaking of analysis, data analytics is another area where financial controllers can really shine. By using data, they can identify trends, uncover insights, and make data-driven recommendations to help with strategic decision-making.
So it's like being a financial detective, uncovering those hidden patterns and turning them into actionable insights.
Love that analogy. And there are so many powerful data analytics tools available that can help them dig deeper into the data, visualize trends, and present their findings in a way that's easy to understand and makes an impact.
It sounds like the role of the financial controller is shifting from just crunching numbers to being a strategic advisor. They're using data to help guide the company's financial decisions.
Exactly. And those who embrace technology and get good at data analytics will be the ones who thrive in this field.
So for someone just starting out in finance, what advice would you give them about developing these tech skills?
Start with a strong foundation in Excel. Then look into online courses or certifications in data analytics, data visualization, and financial modeling. There are also a lot of industry conferences and webinars that can keep you up to date on the latest trends and technologies.
So continuous learning is key.
Absolutely. The world of finance is always changing, and those who are willing to learn and grow will be the ones who succeed.
And that's where RoleCatcher comes in. They provide the resources and support to help people in finance navigate this ever-changing world.
Absolutely. Whether you're just starting your career or you're aiming for a leadership role, RoleCatcher can help you achieve your goals.
Their insights on interview prep are so helpful, and their AI-powered tools can give you a real advantage.
Definitely. Their AI-driven CV analysis, interview feedback, and career planning tools can help you stand out and land your dream job.
We've covered a lot today, from the basic responsibilities of a financial controller to those tricky interview questions and how technology is changing the game.
And we've talked about how important it is to keep learning, develop your skills, and use resources like RoleCatcher to navigate the changing world of finance.
I feel so much more prepared for my next financial controller interview, thanks to your insights and RoleCatcher's amazing resources.
I'm so glad to hear that. Remember, confidence is key. Believe in yourself, show off your skills, and let your passion shine through.
Before we move on to the last part of our deep dive, I want to take a moment to really appreciate what RoleCatcher brings to the table. Their insights are practical, their guidance is actionable, and their AI-powered tools are truly game changers.
I totally agree. RoleCatcher is an essential resource for anyone in finance, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out.
They empower people to take charge of their careers and give them the knowledge, skills, and tools to reach their full potential.
Exactly. They're true advocates for finance professionals, helping them navigate the job market and find fulfilling and rewarding careers.
Now let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back to explore the final part of our deep dive. We'll be looking at the challenges and opportunities for financial controllers in today's dynamic business world. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've gone from figuring out job descriptions to nailing those tough interview questions. Now let's zoom out a bit.
Yeah, time to explore what's shaping the role of the financial controller today and what it means for you and your career.
RoleCatcher pointed to some interesting trends and challenges. What stood out to you?
Well, we talked about the tech side of things, but it's worth a deeper look. Automation, AI, data analytics, these aren't just trendy words, they're changing how finance works at a basic level.
So knowing your spreadsheets isn't enough anymore.
Right. You need to be comfortable with technology, use these tools, not be afraid of them.
So financial controllers are becoming more like, what, data strategists?
Exactly. They need to find insights in the data, not just make reports, and then use those insights to make strategic decisions.
It's like being a financial storyteller, using data to explain how the company's doing and help guide its future.
That's a great way to put it. And it takes analytical skills and good communication. You have to understand the data and then explain it in a way that makes sense to everyone, not just the finance people.
RoleCatcher also mentioned how financial regulations are getting more complex. That's another challenge on top of everything else.
It is. Staying compliant is crucial. It's about protecting the company's reputation and making sure it's doing things the right way. Financial controllers need to be on top of those regulations, making sure their companies are following the rules.
So it's an exciting time, but it's demanding. What kinds of opportunities does all of this create for financial controllers?
Tons of opportunities. RoleCatcher talked about specialization, for example. You can become an expert in a specific industry, like healthcare or tech, each with its own financial quirks.
That makes sense. You can tailor your skills to an industry that you're actually interested in and become even more valuable.
Exactly. Or you could specialize in a specific area of finance, like tax, audit, or forensic accounting. Imagine being the go-to person for a particular financial challenge.
That's a great way to stand out.
It is. And as more companies go global, there's a growing need for financial controllers with international experience, people who are comfortable with cross-border transactions and different regulations in different countries.
This is making me realize there are so many paths you can take with a solid background in financial control.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher has resources to help you explore those paths. They have something called a career compass that helps you figure out your skills, identify gaps, and even suggests courses or certifications to level up.
So they're not just about helping you get a job, they're about building a whole career.
That's the goal. They believe that with the right information and tools, everyone can achieve their career goals.
Wow, after this deep dive, I feel really excited about what's next. RoleCatcher has made the financial controller role so much clearer, giving me practical tips and show me all the possibilities.
That's fantastic to hear. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Keep learning, network with people, stay curious.
And for our listeners, make sure to check out RoleCatcher's website. Their AI-powered tools can make a huge difference, whether you're working on your CV, practicing for interviews, or exploring career options.
They've got a ton of free resources, and their Copilot subscription gives you an even deeper dive with personalized guidance and support.
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that the role of the financial controller is changing quickly. It's not just about number crunching anymore. It's about strategic thinking, telling stories with data, and being excited about technology.
Absolutely. The people who embrace these changes and keep learning new skills will be the ones shaping the future of finance.
This has been an amazing deep dive, and I feel ready to tackle whatever comes my way.
That's great. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing yourself.
To all our listeners, we hope this deep dive has given you the insights and inspiration to crush your next financial controller interview and build a fulfilling career in finance.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep aiming for the best.
This is the Deep Dive signing off.